Another featured live trade of the week coming up right now. I'm Don Singletary, and welcome to the channel where we teach everyone how to trade the micros. Here's the setup for today's featured trade of the week. Now, this is the CNBC Squawk Box morning newsletter. On January 6th, the day of the trade, I'm going to show you today. But what's important is what happened yesterday on January 5th. It was a huge down day for the DJIA, the S&P, and the worst performer of all for the day was down 3.3%, and that's the NASDAQ100 index. Now, as part of the trade setup, I tell you this, after the huge drop in all the indexes the day before, the overnight market did not rebound or go up any at all. It stayed pretty steady overnight. And so I suspected this morning that the market would probably be down for the day. Now you can see when the market opened at 9:30 for the first 10 minutes, those two green bars, the first two at 9:30 and 9:35, go up, and then the market takes a dive again. And my strategy is to assume that the market will probably go down today since there was no rise, no bounce at all overnight. So I'm going to go in and short the Russell 2000 Micro Emini. Now, if you're thinking that just because the market went down big time the day before, that it may not be a justification for this trade. And I can't say that you would be absolutely wrong in believing that, but there's more to a trade than just playing a hunch. See, I get into this trade. My decision making is not over once you make up your mind to make a trade. It only just begins. And if this trade doesn't show me some profit very, very soon after taking it, or should it move adversely, against me that is, then I would exit the trade pretty quickly. You see right here, I'm only risking less than 3 points, less than $15 on the trade here. And I do get my Tastyworks mouse just to have an even number, and I eke that stop loss back up to 2205.40. Now, that would be exactly 3 points from where I shorted the contract at 2202.4. I did that because I just want the math to be easy here as you're watching the screen. That's a 3-point difference, a 3-point stop. So the most I'm risking on the trade now is $15. And it's always your hope that you're going to make considerably more than you're risking on the trade, so you would have a high risk-reward ratio. But this is determined during the trade, not before the trade. The trade has to show you something. If you're going to get on the bus, you don't want it to stay in the station or go the other way that you intend to go. And I just took my Tastyworks mouse and moved my stop loss down to 2204.40. That's 2 points. I'm risking the giant sum of $10 here. And 2 points, by the way, these are 1/10 size micro E-mini contracts. If I were trading the regular E-mini contract, that 2 points would not be $10. It would be, I'd be risking $100 on this trade. So it's much easier, of course, I'm stating the obvious, to risk $10 on a trade. Doesn't seem like a huge risk at all. Now, the trade's going in my way. Not dropping like a lead balloon yet, but I'm trading down at $21.99, so I'm about $15 or so up in the trade. Every now and then, a guest floats by and looks in on the channel here and say, what the heck's this guy doing? He's trading, he's talking about making $10 or $20 or anything else. Well, I'm trying to show you, it's the purpose of this channel, the 1/10 size micros. It's the affordable way for you to learn to trade. If you got to risk $100, for a great many people, risking $100 just on a hunch is a little bit expensive sounding and probably would set your adrenal glands going, and that means your brain doesn't really make a lot more logical decisions if you feel like you're having to risk big bucks just to be able to get in the market and to learn to trade. So here on this channel, we learn to trade small. Now, I'm not insulting anyone. If you can risk $10 on a trade and you trade the regular E-mini, and you're going to risk $100. And if you're ready for that, if you have the confidence yet, or if you have the experience and you've got the mechanics down, you understand your software, then go for it. I mean, that could be a goal. Or another intermediate step would be for you to trade 2 contracts and make it $10 a point instead of 5, instead of going directly up and having to risk hundreds of dollars on a small trade where your goal is really to learn what you're doing. And that's a large part of what we do here on the channel. A good time maybe for me to remind you, hit the subscribe button and the little alarm bell, and that will mean you'll be notified as we put up the new featured trades every week. Now, did you look and see what just happened? I was taking my Tastyworks mouse and I moved the stop loss order down to 2201.8. And that, of course, means I've got a free trade now. I would make, that's 0.6 of a point, about $3. That would more than cover the commissions on the trade. So I can't go into my account for commissions or anything else and come out with a balance smaller than it was before I began this trade. And that takes a lot of stress off of you. Did you know, and if you didn't, you're going to learn it very fast, whenever you get in a hole on a trade, when you have a drawdown, you start making bad decisions. It really happens. It's called prospect theory in the psychological labs, but you'll recognize it. You make much better decisions when you have a good stop-loss management because you can have a level head and calm emotions. Okay, let's see what's happening here. I'm trading down at 21.93 and change right there. And I have my Tastyworks mouse out again with that left mouse button. And I'm going to move the stop down just a little bit more. Now, why am I doing that? Of course, to lock in some profit. So far, I have my stop is just kind of break even. But now, I just moved that stop down to 2196.9. Now, I popped up a screen here to do the math. That means I'm 5.5 points ahead right now. That's locked in hard. So I can't do anything worse than make $27.50 in about 8 minutes. Well, I'm an old guy. I remember a lot of times in my life where I worked a whole hour for a lot less than $27.50. And that's what makes this trading fun. Of course, it isn't fun when you lose, and that's going to happen. It's part of this kind of trading. You just have to keep those losses down lower than the amount you make on the good trades, where you can lock in and make good profits and sometimes excellent profits very quickly. And I want to mention that I have a book. I think it's maybe the only book that just teaches beginners how to day trade the Micro E-minis. That's all, nothing else. Not the whole universe of futures with soybeans and pork bellies and orange juice and copper and titanium and gold and oil. But just one thing, just the Micro E-minis. I take it out and try to teach it in a very simple manner, much like the way I narrate the audios here on the channel. I want beginners not to be intimidated at all, because this is a great skill that you can learn. Not everybody should or can, but for those who can, it's a great skill you can learn, and you'll have it for a lifetime. Check out the book link in the text below the video. It'll take you to the Amazon listing where you can examine the table of contents and make up your own mind. I'd appreciate that. Thank you. By the way, it costs about the same as a large pizza. I hope you'll make that money back many times over. No guarantees, but that's my wish for you. Trading 21.92, about 10 points up now at $5 a point. I'm up $50 in the trade. Now, I'm zooming in so you can read all the letters and numbers on the video here, but this is the full page with my watch list on the left and my MACD in the bottom pane there. That's what I see on my computer during the trade, but for the video, you only see the part that's on the screen right now. And that MACD, if you noticed it, if not, rewind and take a look, it's still saying this trade has some more potential left in it, because that green line's below the red line, and it's diverging. The two lines are diverging, which means in this case the downward momentum is increasing. Okay, the trade just had a birthday. We're 10 minutes old, 10 minutes into the trade now. We're trading down at 21.91, up about $55 in total, but we have the stop at 21.95. Now, 21.95 is exactly 7.4 points below the entry up there at 22.0240. And 7.4 times 5 is $37 I have locked in on this trade. I'm doing a little housekeeping here, changing the scale and zooming in a little bit so you can still read those numbers easily here for the video. And we're 11 minutes into the trade now, and trading down at 21.88. Let's call it 88. So we're up about $70 in the trade right now. I need your help on something. Hit the like button if you want to see more videos like the one you're watching today. That's the way I tell what to make the future videos on the channel, so it helps me out with that, and I can bring you the videos that you want to see. I got the Tastyworks mouse now, and I'm pulling down that stop one more time. We're still trading 21.88 and change down there, and I want to pull it down from 21.95 and lock in some more profit. So now I'm at 21.90.4, and that's exactly 12 points. 12 times 5 is 60. So the worst thing can happen to me in this trade now after 11 minutes is I'm going to make a profit of at least $60 on the trade. I keep moving my target price down there, just kind of get it out of the way. The market doesn't care where you put a target price. It doesn't even know you did it, of course. So now the Tastyworks mouse is out again, and the trade's kind of stalling around 21.87 there. I moved my stop down to 21.89.80 to eke out just a little bit more of a guaranteed profit. So I've got $63 locked in on the trade right now. And there you go. I get stopped out at 21.89.80. So I made a total of $63 on the trade in just under 13 minutes. The drawdown now was minus $6. And that's good. The less drawdown you have on a trade, and you'll notice as you make trade after trade after trade, you notice as you get better at trading, the amount of drawdown on your trades, that average amount, is going to decrease. And what that means is that you're learning better how to select your trades. The less drawdown or even no drawdown on trades is a sign that your trade selection is working very well. Now, the number one problem that puts people out of business when they're trying to learn to trade these micro E-minis is over trading. For some reason, beginners think, well, I need to get in there at 9:30 when the market opens and make 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, 20 trades in a day. Well, that's not true. 95% of the time, you're not going to be in the market. You're going to be watching and listening, and you're going to be waiting. The best piece of advice I can dare ever give a beginner of day trading the micro E-minis is to pretend you live in the Alaskan wilderness, and that what you hunt is what you eat, and you're only allowed 3 bullets per week. And if you can't aim them properly, good trade selection, you'll starve to death. Now, it just turns out that way. That's the bad news. The most important thing you need to learn is trade selection. Guess what the hardest thing to do is? To learn good trade selection. That's key to being successful at this type of day trading. So write those 2 words down, trade selection. Get a yellow sticky, put it on your computer screen or the refrigerator door, whatever it takes to have trade selection always be first and foremost in your mind as a goal. If you can't select the right trades, you won't have success. You will lose money. You will pick trade after trade that doesn't give you a chance to make money. What I'm saying, if you can't learn good trade selection, you don't stand a chance of making any money at this kind of trading. Give it up. Go do something else. Really had a good time, a lot of fun with that trade today. And I want to emphasize to you again, well, a couple of things, if you'll indulge me for a moment. First of all, check out the text below this video. There's 2 free playlists for beginners down there. All this is free, a trade simulation program from the exchange, the CME. Also, you'll find links to video playlists with more live trades. You'll find information about my book, and you can look up the link on Amazon and see the table of contents down there. So Before you leave today, check out the text below the video and pick and choose some things down there that you've been wanting to know about. There's also a short video I made on how to enter a trade with a bracket order, so you can put in the trade price, the stop loss price, and the target all at one time when you begin a trade. And as you see, the screens I use here on Tastyworks, you'll notice in today's trade, I held the camera on one screen through the entire trade. And a lot of software you can pick and choose to use will not let you do that. It's skipping around and it's very confusing. And one of the reasons I picked Tastyworks is because they have this thing that you saw today during the trade. It's called See It, Click It, Trade It. Basically, it says everything's on one page. And I hope you'll check that out down there too. And before I leave, one important thing. Every time, and I made over 110 videos here on the channel, and every time before I get started making a video, I know in my heart the most important thing that I could ever emphasize is to study your trade selection. If you can master that, it's a very counterintuitive skill, because you got your account funded, you got your money together, you got your software, you made a deposit, you got your account open, you watch videos, you read books, you talk to people, you read articles, you do all those things, and then you get on there, and I'm the guy who's telling you 95% of the time you're at the screen, you're not going to be trading. That's so counterintuitive. It's like you get dressed up, and if you can't find a good trade, there's nowhere to go. It's very counterintuitive to do all that preliminary work and then to have such extreme patience sometimes as it takes to make the proper trade selection. That's it. Thanks for being along today. I'm Don Singletary, and I hope every day is a payday for you. Thank you.